Hi guys, I'm tehjonbro and welcome to part 2 of a whole bunch of random questions. Now we're going to start off with Jace. Hello, Jace. I think that's how you pronounce your name. I'm probably butchering some of these names, and I am so sorry if I am. 2 questions. What was the first video game you've ever played, and do you eat llama? Everyone is dying to know. I know that's a llama, but, uh, first video game I ever played? I don't remember. I mean, that was like an eternity and 50 billion years ago, so I'm gonna assume it was probably something like Super Mario 64 or Zelda Ocarina of Time or something. I'm guessing it was Ocarina of Time because, that's at least the one that I played the most as a kid, more than anything else, because I would always like run around the fields on my brother's file and just, I would have no idea what was going on. I might like just explore and talk to random people and try to do really stupid things with bottles and attempt to progress the storyline along, even though it was already, like at the end of the game or something, and I just didn't know it. Um, and then things like I would sometimes try to start my own file, my own new file, and then play through the first dungeon of the game, and then I would always stop right before the boss of the dungeon because I would be too scared of Goma. Uh, and then I would just hand the controller to my brother and he would do it for me, and then I would continue on. Fun times. And then, the llama question. No, I do not eat llama. Further questions from Jace. Do you Gatorade? Gatorade isn't a verb as far as I know, but I do like Gatorade, and I do like pants, and I do like elephants. I remember, like, sometime at the zoo, we saw these elephants, and that was the first time that I'd ever seen this, but elephants were actually smiling. They were like physically smiling elephants. They had dimples and everything. Their mouths, like the edges of their mouths were curling upward, and it was just like an actual big elephant smile, and it was just fun. Marioception, you're a cool guy. Mario within a Mario. Why don't you have more subscribers? Just kidding. Why did you choose the name tehjonbro? I'm gonna answer both of those questions, even though you were kidding about the first one. Why don't I have more subscribers? Probably because I'm not very good at Let's Playing or making videos. As much as I am, like, maybe animating or something, which I don't really put much of that on this channel. And I've only been Let's Playing for like 10 months, which isn't an especially long time. Even though my account has been around for longer, I've just never used it before that point. And then why did I choose the name tehjonbro? I didn't actually. One of my brothers and one of my sisters did it together, and they surprised me one day when I was just starting to animate, and they set up a website for me by putting up all the random crap that I'd made into one place and just called it johnbro.com, and the name stuck. So even though there were other tehjonbros online at the time, like other tehjonbros on the internet besides myself, apparently I think I'm the most well-known one now, which is strange. And I even know, like, another tehjonbro who also happens to make games and iPhone apps and things like that. He told me that I'm supposedly the real tehjonbro, and it was just funny to me because he definitely came first by a long shot. Oh, whatever. It just makes me laugh. Impulse. Impulse is a friend that I know personally from school. Can you try Force? And don't forget Skyward Sword for me tomorrow. And since he asked this a few days ago, I've let him borrow my copy of Skyward Sword. So, can you try Force? I will try Force if you don't return it. Ho ho! Hypersonic Hero, I cannot stop looking at your user icon every time I see it. I'm just like, I need to keep looking at that. tehjonbro, I recall you saying long ago that you were working on a finale to your old Blobbles Flash animated series entitled Fat of the Land. You mentioned that you were just about to finish it, and we never heard from the project again. What happened to it, and would you be willing to release it in a future unfinished SWF's installment? Oh, goodness, that was such a long time ago. I have no idea how you remember that. Man, that was a really long time ago. Well, it wasn't really going to be necessarily a finale. It was just going to be like a long movie. Like maybe the plan was for it to be like 8 minutes, and it was probably really going to be like 6 if I finished. But yeah, it was going to be Blubbles' Fat of the Land. I don't think I ever said that I was just about finished with it, because I was really like, I'd made maybe 50 seconds of it. I didn't make a whole lot of progress. I could have very easily made the rest, but I lost a lot of motivation. And I think that was because the flash file got corrupt, which is never a good thing when that happens. You should always save often and copy files if you're making a big project, especially if you are really putting your heart into a project, which I wasn't, so I didn't mind too much. But yeah, I couldn't open the file, and I just wanted to... I was trying to make a whole bunch of loopholes around it and stuff, and apparently something that I did whenever I finally did get the file to work again, it made it take a really long time to export, and it just wasn't going to be worth it, so yeah, I just cut the project after that. And no, I will not be able to release it in a future unfinished SWFs installment. I don't even want to make any more of those. Like, I really hope that I never have to make another what is it called? Compilation of unfinished crap again, because that is just not fun. I want to finish things, and I want to make them good. And that's about it. Tails Maniac asks, "Can you fly?" "No, I can't!" Next question! Steel Lasagna. This is someone who followed me on Twitter at some point, and I just checked out his tweets for, I don't even know why exactly, but I liked them. I thought they were funny, and so I followed him back, and this is like a really rare occurrence. I never do this, so yeah, I'm following him on Twitter, and he still leaves funny tweets. He's a cool guy. Will you ever finish Respawn 2? Because I did start making Respawn 2. I don't know, I didn't really like... quick answer, no, I'm not going to finish it, but the thing was, whenever I started making it, I wasn't really, like, motivated to make something really exciting just because I had this great idea for it or anything. I was just like, you know, I want to see if I can make a game in a week, and that was really the whole motivation behind even starting it. I wasn't really, like, into it at all, but, yeah, so I made some of it, and I was thinking, maybe this will go okay, maybe this is a good idea, because it was fairly different from the first game, and I did want to, you know, fix all of the errors that people said the first game had by changing the control scheme a little bit, and trying to see if I could make the controls more responsive and stuff. So that was good practice. But then there was something that came up in the middle of the game where you had to start pushing boxes, and since that was going to be a whole lot of the game, just, you know, pushing boxes around to solve certain puzzles, because the idea was you could turn into an angel and fly through wood, and the boxes were all made of wood and stuff. I don't know, it couldn't work. I just couldn't get the box pushing to work, because I wanted it to be like whenever one box fell on top of another box, you could push them both at the same time, but that was just a disaster, and yeah, since that was going to be a lot of the game, I just quit it because I didn't think that was worth it. So, yeah, sorry. Best Let's Play you've done so far? Worse? Probably worst. Well, the worst one is definitely Legend of Spyro. That one was awful. Absolutely dreadful. Goodness gracious, I'm never going to watch that ever again. Like, I'm tempted to set that on private, that was so bad. Just the Legend of Zelda, or Legend of Spyro Blind Let's Play. Goodness gracious. But if you're talking about, like, a full Let's Play, one that I didn't, you know, stop after, like, 6 episodes because it was crap, I'm gonna say... I feel silly saying that my Banjo-Kazooie Let's Play was my worst one, because it was also my first one, and you really can't expect someone's first Let's Play to be an amazing, great one. But, it is the one that I'm least tempted to watch again, so I'm just going to say it's the worst one, yeah. And then my best one, I'm liking how Link's Awakening is turning out so far, so that's probably going to be my best one so far once it's finished. But aside from that, probably my Tetris Attack Let's Play, because even though the visuals are nothing but me switching blocks around, I liked how the commentary turned out, and I'm impressed by it personally because it was just me talking for an hour and a half straight or whatever it was, and I still think that I would go back and watch those 6 episodes recorded in one night again, because I think it just turned out well. That's just, it seems silly to me, but that's my answer. And then what happened to Chubb? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by this question. If you're talking how did he get so fat, he ate a lot. But if you're talking about why he isn't appearing in like the more recent games with the Riddle School series, uh, well, he really hasn't had a place in them because he can't. Like Riddle School 4 or 5 and then Riddle Transfer, there's really no way that he could have been in any of those games because you never saw the hallway in any of the schools that were shown in Riddle School 5, and the only characters that were kidnapped and taken to Sorry, I just burped. Zone 5.1 in Riddle Transfer were the 4 main character students, and no other students at all, so there wouldn't be any reason to show any of the other students if they weren't there. But I think that he might still make an appearance in some later games. Metroid Man, you ask so many questions, and I'm going to answer all of them. First question, do you have somebody to bond with? I have friends, if that's what you mean. I do bond with them. I have bonding time. Do you like pie? Do you like pie? I like pie and pie. Yes, I do like the eating kind of pie, and my favorite is apple pie, by far. And do I like 3.14159, etc.? Yes, I do. I'm not sure if I got the 2 right at the end. That might be a different number. And I also like the Songs to Wear Pants To song about pie, if you haven't heard that. Like, all the words in the song have the same number of letters as the first 50 digits of pi do. So it's like, man, I can't, I shan't, formulate an anthem where the words comprise mnemonics. Dreaded mnemonics for pi. And then it goes on with all the other digits, and it's just fun. Have you ever killed a chicken with your bare hands? I have not. Will you please do more bashing flashes? I would like to at some point. Not necessarily really soon. It'll be a really occasional thing. I don't want to be too mean. Have you paid the Pied Piper? Not knowingly. And if I ever saw him, then I would have to meet him and maybe decide if he gets a payment. Unless I had to pay him for something specific, like, like maybe groceries. So did Fish end up regretting singing the sign song? Fish's words then, where he said, and I will probably regret this, that was representing my own feelings about singing the sign song, and I still kind of regret it. But overall, I think it was the right decision. What color is green? Green is the best color. What did you give her on the 12 Days of Christmas, assuming that's meaning with the 12 Days of Christmas song that I made up? I gave her a swift kick in the face. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rank the historical significance of the invention of underwear? I'm going to say 9, because just above that is the invention of tissues. Why do you need to see the principal? To tell him a joke? Because you're awesome? To tell them that there's a cow in the hallway? In real life, I'm guessing, is what you mean? Whenever I see my principal, he was my art teacher last year, so I just usually wave at him and say hi. How many times have you died in real life? 0? 0? I've died a lot on the inside, though. Probably at least twice. How do you eat soup? A with a fork, B with a knife, C with Obama's face. Out of those choices, probably a fork, actually. I might use a fork more often than I use a spoon, because most of the soup I like isn't really that soupy. It's more solid than it is, with all the briny whatever it is stuff inside. It just has, like, the vegetables in it. So, yeah, definitely with a fork. That's totally a logical choice, actually. Are carrots people too? Yes, carrots are people too. They're orange and they're crunchy, and I don't remember the rest of the quote, so I can't say it. It's been so long since I read that. I have to scroll down on my notepad, wordpad thing to read these questions. What do you think of these statements? The below statement is true, the above statement is false. I can't help but notice that there aren't periods at the end of either of those statements. Therefore, they are not technically sentences, because a sentence is defined by the fact that it has a period at the end. And it can't be a statement, because statements are usually defined as a sentence or assertion. So, neither of those are true, because they are illogical sentences, and therefore are both false. What? 4 divided by 8 plus open parentheses 5 minus 10 times 6 close parentheses divided by 2 plus 52 times 4 divided by 2 equals question mark? The answer is 77. I answered this beforehand. I know, I'm a cheater. I used a calculator too. Google calculator. Are you a cactus? Obama is secretly a cactus. I am not secretly a cactus, although if I was, That would be pretty cool because I dry up all the time, and cacti, cactuses, both of those are appropriate pluralizations. Then I could like withhold a lot of water, and that would be so useful because my eyes get dry and it's just not fun. And usually I'm distracted by my dry eyes whenever I'm commentating over something, and it's just I don't know. It's like I suddenly get tired whenever my eyes are dry, and it just sucks. It sucks, man. And lastly, what happens to marshmallows when placed in a microwave with a lit blowtorch? I'm guessing a kitten dies in France.